convert, and it wasn't only until later in my life that I actually came to know God. So my parents immigrated from Japan, and this was sometime after World War II. And they were very interested in making sure that the family and their children assimilated into American culture and society. And so they didn't practice their faith, and God was never really spoken of in the household. They wanted their children to choose, and of course, being a young child, I chose nothing. Eventually, I felt God's call over time. It was small, they were gentle tugs, but I ignored them. It wasn't until much later in life, I worked in business and finance. I was relatively successful. I had a good job, lived in a nice neighborhood, was married, had a wonderful wife and 2 beautiful children. And in many respects, I was living the American dream. But at the same time, I noticed that there was a sense of incompleteness, a sense that there was something missing, a hole in my heart. And I had been contemplating this hole in my heart for some time. And there was this one time when I was driving home in my car, and while contemplating this, and I heard a voice that said, "Go to church." It was 3 simple words, but within those 3 simple words, my mind was barraged with a whole set of different sensory experiences. But one thing was very clear to me. There was an image of a church. I didn't know it was a Catholic church. There was an image of a church that I recognized from my neighborhood. And so, after getting up my courage, I went to the church and spoke to a deacon there. And we spent many hours in conversation about the faith and what it's all about. And I had many questions and doubts, and he was very kind and patient with me. And after I ran out of steam, after a long silence, he gently asked me if I was interested in attending RCIA, the Rite of Christian Initiation for Adults. And he said at that time I could explore many more questions and or issues about the faith, and at the end of the process, should I choose, I could become Catholic, or I could walk away. I was intrigued, and so I did that. I went to every single session. I loved every minute of it. And at the end, I was initiated into the Catholic Church. I received all 3 sacraments of initiation. It was a wonderful and beautiful day for me. Over time, I came to realize that Christ's invitation into personal relationship was more than that it was a call to the priesthood. But at first, I laughed. I laughed because of my age, and I laughed because I was married at the time. But life happens, and my wife divorced me. Our marriage was annulled. Yet, throughout this entire process, I still felt that gentle tug of God. And so I discerned, and I came to realize that up until that point, my life had been overwhelmingly self-centered. And I decided at that moment, at that time, to dedicate my life to Christ, to follow His will and no longer my own.